Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video. Today we are going to be going through my vinyl record collection, which, mind you, I just started this about a month and a half ago, so there's not a lot, but I'm really proud of it, mostly because of how I started it. But yeah, let's go ahead and start. Alright, so how I started this vinyl record collection was about 2 months ago. I was at Walmart actually, and I was just walking around and I saw a pretty cool looking yet cheap vinyl record player, and I decided to go ahead and just buy one. Even though I've never owned a vinyl record in my life, I was curious, I bought one, and with it I bought 2 vinyls. We'll get to those later. But yeah, this is how I started my smaller collection that hopefully keeps growing. But let's start with the one that's actually playing right now, and it's Wine Light by Grover Washington Jr. This was released in 1980. I have always loved this album. It's one of my favorite albums of like all time. And Just the Two of Us, I mean everyone and their grandma knows Just the Two of Us. But I mean, songs like this, I'm a sucker for jazz. I love this album. This is by Ya Boy by Marc Anthony. This is actually the most recent one I bought. This was actually released just last year. It's one of my favorite albums of last year, so expect this to be on my next video, which is top 10 albums of 2022. But yeah, Marc Anthony came back with a great salsa album, and it's I had to have it on vinyl. It's one of my favorites of his. It's a really nice album. To me, the undisputed best rap album of all time, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, released in 2015. I mean, this album is a classic. I mean, you can't argue about that. And the vinyl itself, it's a long album. Just shiny black. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. People's Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm by A Tribe Called Quest, arguably one of the best rap hip-hop groups of all time. A Tribe Called Quest is something special, and I went to an indie record store looking for albums like this. I didn't find much, but when I saw this, I just knew I had to have it. I don't think it's Tribe's best album, but they also don't have an album that's not worth having, so. Another rap classic for me, personally, I love this album, and it's Astroworld by Travis Scott. Not only is this, in my opinion, Travis's best album, it's one of the best trap albums of all time, and it's the first time I heard Don Toliver, and I had to have Can't Say on vinyl. I love this album, and I'm honestly excited to see what Travis has next. The Weeknd's latest album, which might also make an appearance in another video soon, Dawn FM by The Weeknd, released last year as well. This is an alternative cover for the album, which only came on vinyl. I think it looks really fucking cool. And also just to hear all those synth 80 pop beats on vinyl, I mean, I had to have it. And not just that, it looks pretty fucking sick. In my opinion, it does. But yeah, it's Dawn FM by The Weeknd. Probably in my top 3 favorite singers of all time, Vicente Fernandez con La Muerte de un Gallero. I mean, anything Vicente Fernandez is a classic in my opinion. Let's see. 1977, a 1977 record. These records in Spanish, I didn't buy them because I've been finding very hard to find. These actually belonged to my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather, which gave me the honor to pass them on to me, and very, very, very grateful for these, and I have a few more of these too. So, El Hijo del Pueblo by Vicente Fernandez, released in 1975. Again, yet another classic. Again, one I didn't buy, was handed over to me, and I will cherish these records like it was my own life. Would you look at that? Another Vicente Fernandez vinyl record. This is Toda una Época. This includes some of my favorite Vicente Fernandez songs. I believe this was released 73. 73, that is 40 years ago. I have a 40-year-old vinyl record. It's amazing. Wow. Going back to hip hop, my top 5 rappers of all time. The Marshall Mathers LP 2 by Eminem. Now, it's not as good as the first MMLP. To be fair, not a lot of rap albums are as good as the first MMLP, but this is one of, in my opinion, Eminem's most underrated albums. And yeah, I mean, there's songs on here like Bad Guy, Legacy, Groundhog Day. It was an album I had to have. Also, I just had to have a vinyl. Michael Jackson's 40th anniversary, Thriller. I mean, I think finding an original version of a Thriller vinyl would be extremely difficult. And I bought this at Walmart. I saw the ones at Target, which I might have to go and buy one of those and switch it out. I'm not a big fan of the Big 40 here. But yeah, I mean, one of the best albums of all time. One of the best. It's Michael Jackson. It's Michael freaking Jackson. And it's huge compilation of Frank Sinatra's best called Collected. I love Frank Sinatra. I think he is an undisputed GOAT in music history. I didn't really know when I went to buy records what album I was looking for, because there's a lot of Sinatra ones. And I know it probably has more value having independent albums, but I just couldn't let go of having, especially since it was the last one, of having such a huge compilation of Frank Sinatra on vinyl. Not just that, but look at this. This is gorgeous. Golden era of music. This proves it right here. Gusta Usted de Vicente Fernandez. This is actually the only Vicente Fernandez one I did buy because it was a miracle. I found it in the indie store. This was 1977. It also includes some of my favorite Vicente Fernandez songs like Por un Amor y Paloma Negra and Chapala. Yeah, really nice record. To me, if there's anyone in Mexico that can come close to Vicente Fernandez and even overpass him, it's Juan Gabriel. Again, I didn't buy this one, but this is at the time, I believe 1977. At that point, these were his 15 greatest hits. It's a fantastic record just because this man did nothing short but amazing music his entire career. This is Cheat Codes by Black Thought and Danger Mouse, one of my favorite albums last year as well. I just think the cover is fucking amazing. I mean, this isn't like a special cover for the vinyl, this is just the cover in general, but I think it looks fucking great. This is not the best vinyl I have, but this is the first vinyl I bought, and it's red, Taylor's version. It's heavy because this is extremely long, so it has a lot of actual vinyls in here. But yeah, I think it's not to no one's surprise that I love Taylor Swift, and I don't know. I would see it as something special as saying this was the first vinyl I owned. It was also kind of expensive because again, it's long. Another one that was passed down to me by Vicente Fernandez. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the name is just Vicente Fernandez. This is also a long one, so long that this is actually a box with about six of these in here because it's extremely long. I don't know, having vinyls from like the 80s and the 70s kind of just fills me with joy because like, damn, I really have something from that. The box is extremely damaged again. This has been around for a long time. I bought this one the same day I bought Red, Taylor's version, and it's Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. I tried to find the special edition that came out a few months ago. Obviously, it was going to be nearly impossible to find. But this is also one of my favorite albums of all time. I mean, Kendrick just doesn't miss. I mean, you have Good Kid, you have Good Kid here, you have Mad City, you have Compton, one of the most underrated songs here. It's just, wow. This is what I imagine my life would be in like 20 years when I get home from work. I'm just gonna sit down on my couch, play a record like this, a jazz record, glass of whiskey. I don't know, this music just puts me in a vibe and a mood. I don't know. Anyway, next is Midnights by Taylor Swift. Now, admittedly, if you go watch my reaction to this album, it looks like I love it. further listening to it multiple times after, I realized that I didn't really enjoyed it as much as I thought I did. It's not a bad album per se. I do think the first half is spectacular, even for Taylor standards. But also, that looks so pretty. Tell me now that looks so pretty. That looks so pretty. That looks very pretty. This is another compilation of hits by Juan Gabriel released in 1982, 5 years after the one I just showed. So this has some of the same songs, but also several different songs. Again, this man did no wrong in his life. So, another box, Sentimiento y Mariachi by Vicente Fernandez. This is also extremely huge and heavy. And it has like 8, I'm not gonna pull them out because no, but it has about 8 different vinyls in here because of how long this is. It's insane. And I'll finish off with one of my favorite albums of all time, After Hours by The Weeknd. I didn't think I would find this one, especially because I would look online and they would go for like $60, $70. I went to a vinyl record downtown Denver. I found it. I thought it was worth it. I love this album. This is the album that actually got me introduced to The Weeknd. Not introduced, I already knew The Weeknd before, but this album is just what cemented him for me. And not just that, I fucking love the vinyl cover and the vinyl itself. That's fucking sick as fuck. You can't deny that. That looks amazing. But yeah, that was my small but ongoing vinyl collection. Hopefully in the future I can buy a record player that's not $50 and that, you know, I can actually hear the quality of these amazing vinyls. Of course, I'm gonna try to keep buying until, you know, my room is full of them. But thank you so much for watching. What are your favorites on here? If you have any favorites, if you don't like some of them, if you like some of them, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for my top 10 albums of last year by the end of the month. Hopefully, if I don't forget.